me say this. Let me go to your house and appraise your house today for $200,000 and make you sell it to me for $200,000. You might owe 190 on it. You can pay the $190,000 off to the bank, leaves you with 10,000. What are you gonna do now? You're a rich man. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're out of a house. You got to go find another house. With me, it's like I'm out of a business. I'm out of a property. I got to go find. I'm out of a job. I mean, I'm 60 years old. I got to go find another job now. I mean, I'm not selling at today's value. This is my private property. If I don't want to sell it, I shouldn't have to sell it. No one should make me sell it. I'm willing to sell it because I understand that this is a big project and that I could help enhance that project for them. So I'm willing to sell it to them, but I'm not selling it at today's value so I can go pay off my note and then go look for a job somewhere at 60 years old. First of all, it's private property and I should be the one to decide whether I want to sell it or not. So if I want to do an appraisal, I'll do an appraisal, number one. Number two, they did do an appraisal based on 10-year valuations. Let me tell you how they did the appraisal. They got the company of their choosing, their appraisal company, and they did a study on San Antonio properties citywide, not here downtown where properties are going through the roof and they're going to continue to go through the roof after they build this museum. They took a citywide assessment of what property values have done over the last 10 years. Well, over the last 10 years, city property values have gone up and down, but steadily they've gone up 6% per year. So because of the economy and the future economy, they say that they don't think it's going to continue to go up 6% a year. It's going to go up less than 1% for the next 10 years. So they look at the next 10 years where they're going to base my price on, and instead of going like this, it goes like this, 1%. So the increases aren't even based on the last 10 years. And it's not based on what's going to happen here for sure. They're using a number that they just pulled out of their hat of less than 1% and said the next 10 years are going to go up a lot less because of who knows what. So they could offer a lot less, that's why. And so they've offered me a lot less than what probably the true number would be. But even if that true number was double what they said, I should still, as the owner, be able to say, you know what? I don't want to sell. This is my property, it's private property. I've fought for this property. I've worked my butt off to try to make this property and this business work. I've been here 12 years, worked every freaking day. And if I want to sell it, I'll sell it. If I don't want to sell it, I won't sell it. But you tempt me to sell it. I mean, give me a price that makes me feel like, you know what? I don't have to go find another job somewhere. You know, I can sell it and be secure for the rest of my life. If I stay, there's going to be generations of my family, just like the El Rio Mexican food restaurant, the Esquire Club, you know, all these other businesses that are on the Riverwalk that have been there for generations and churned out generational wealth, mostly Anglo-owned, if not 99.9%. They don't go after people like that. But, you know, that's what this property would be. This would be a generational property for the Cantu family to be here for generations. My kids, their kids could be here forever making money, whether they wanted to work or just lease it out to Starbucks or whatever they wanted to do to it. That would be their decision because this is private property. So they're making $20 million a year on the 4D theater, probably $50 million a year on the total museum and you know, from everything, Coca-Cola, coonskin caps and the whole works, $50 million a year, and I'm making zero. I'm sitting on the sideline now, looking at a generational property that they've stolen from me and wondering, you know, where's my government? Who's watching out for me? You know, if city council says yes, you know, they're just carrying water for the state. They also have to get reelected. They also have to think about reelection. So I hope that they do think about it because this is not a winner to take somebody's property from the grounds of the Alamo. It's not a winner to take a private minority-owned business away from, you know, guy who's worked 12 years out of his life to make it good and take it away from him. It's a losing proposition, and no one should do it. They should force the Alamo Trust to sit down with me. The Alamo Trust says that I won't sit down. They've never asked me to sit down. They still haven't, even after all this has come out. You know, 5 days later, my phone still hasn't rang. They haven't asked me to sit down and negotiate, not once in the 6 years they've pursued me. My family, the Cantu family, has been downtown San Antonio for 100 years owning businesses. My great-grandfather owned the tavern, the Victory Tavern on Flores Street. My grandmother and my grandfather and my uncle owned Arteries Mexican Food Restaurant on McCullough for 60 years and ran that. Dan Cook used to go in there. All the greats used to go in there. I grew up watching them do business in San Antonio. So my preference would always be to stay in San Antonio and do business in downtown San Antonio. That's what I'd rather do. But if I have to leave, and if this is in the way of progress that everybody wants, I'm happy to negotiate with people. But what I would want from them is for them to sit down and acknowledge that I'm a small business, minority-owned business that's worked hard, that's been here for 12 years, and deserves a modicum, just a little bit of respect, and deal with me, looking at me, eye to eye, dealing with me across the table, and dealing with me fairly, and saying, you know what, your property's not worth 1% over the last 10 years. Your property's worth a lot more than that, a lot more than that. And we acknowledge that, and it makes sense for us to buy it because we're gonna make a lot of money here too, a ton of money here. So it makes sense for us to buy it. So let's come up with a price that makes you happy, Mr. Cantu, and your family happy, and all the generations that aren't going to be able to participate in this economy because you're choosing to walk away from it. That's what I would like to have happen.